Sturgis brought me to the swamp of the Scaly. He told me it was called that due to the lizard folk that had migrated there. Their appearance had upset the Minotaurs of Brogue, who thought it was their property, even though they didn't seem to care about it until the lizard folk moved in. This was the cause of what was called the Tyranno-Bovine War. Sturgis and I parted company near the outskirts of Brogue. He said he wasn't afraid of the Minotaurs, he just didn't feel like fighting a village. I didn't judge. I wished him well, although I can't say that I meant it, seeing as his mission was world conquest. I walked through the swamp a little worried, my dagger before me. Sturgis had given me a dagger to defend myself. I heard something. It was music. It was nothing I had heard before. It was beautiful yet sad. I had to investigate. I followed the music to an interesting Minotaur fellow. He had one S-shaped horn and bright blue fur. We struck up a conversation. He told me his name was Buford Buckford Monarch, but he asked that I just call him the Blue Baby. I thought it was a strange name, but one does not like to be rude. He told me that he lived in the swamp. His voice was different. I had heard that the Minotaur speak was guttural and rolled their R's, but the Blue Baby, had a very gravelly voice. Although I was collecting more cultural tales, this fellow had a story that intrigued me.
In the country of Brogue, in the village of Brent, a Minotaur by the name of Abhain worked at his forge. The forge was holding Abhain's life. He lived and breathed for metal masterpieces so much that he left his wife Aileen home alone on many occasions. Although soon she would not be alone. Speaking of Aileen, she was home, alone, giving birth to a son. Abhain continued to hammer a sword he was working on. A Minotaur villager ran up to Abhain's forge.
Abhain, come quick. Eileen's in labor.
Abhain stopped hammering in irritation.
All right. I'll be over there once I'm done with this sword.
Abhain went back to hammer. The Minotaur villagers stared at Abhain in shock.
Oh. Okay then.
Abhain made his way home eventually.
All right. Let's see my...
Abhain was shocked to find his pride and joy was very different. With bright blue fur and S-shaped horns, which disgusted Abhain.
What is this?
Abhain was upset by his defective son, which upset Aileen.
This is your son.
Abhain could only stare in disgust.
I wouldn't say that.
The two new parents stared at each other in silent rage.
Don't you want to meet your boy?
I ain't got the time. I've more mouths to feed. I have to work double.
Abhain, don't you dare leave.
But old Abhain would have none of it. He stormed off. I won't bore you with my development, so I'll just skip to the more important events of my life. It was my 10th year of life, I think, and my father reluctantly made me his apprentice. I did my best, but after dropping his tools and setting his forge on fire, he had demoted me. I don't know how you demote an apprentice, but anyway, my job was to sweep up the forge. The day came, I was sweeping and trying to avoid my father when they came.
Buckford, get your ass home. You drift boy. Get.
Ran to my father's
voice. Oh my god.
My mother gave me a big hug. She looked down at me.
Wait, where's your father?
As if mother's concern summoned him, my father burst into the house.
Ah, you little shit!
There was an axe in my father's hands. He looked at me with rage and hate. I very quickly realized his intentions. He charged towards me.
You ruined my livelihood! I'll kill you!
He brought his axe down towards me. I felt it hit. And the pain didn't come immediately until I saw the horn in my hands. One of my horns was in my hands. That's when I felt the pain. My father got ready to finish me off, but mother got in the way.
Do you lay a hand on him?
She looked at me with fear and sadness in her eyes.
Buckford, run!
I did as my mother told me and I ran out of there. And into the night, I never saw my parents again. I don't know how long I ran. I don't know how long, but I ended up in the swamp with Scaly. It was not when I got myself good and lost in the swamp. I was tired, lost, and scared. So I did the only thing a boy of 10 years could do. I dropped to my knees and cried. I cried for a long time, holding my lost horn, not knowing what to do until I heard his voice.
What's the matter, Daddy, and what?
I looked up to see a big human man in dark robes with a black beard and a black wide bird head. He smiled down at me.
You seem to be having a bad night, Daddy.
I told the dark stranger my story. It seemed to listen intently.
That's a sad story, Daddy, and what? Seems you ain't got a friend in the world, dear.
I nodded as I sobbed, and not knowing the deal I was about to make. The dark stranger smiled.
I know who you need to talk to, Daddy, and what?
The dark stranger led me through the swamp. I didn't know where we were going until I heard beautiful yet sad music that I had never heard before.
What is that?
That, my boy, is your destiny, dear.
I was excited to hear that. We got closer to the source of the music. And a man, a lizard man, which surprised me, was playing a harmonica. He stopped playing his instrument and smiled at me, which was very unnerving to see. A lizard smile. He extended his hand to me.
Hello, boy. My name is Saxel. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I looked at the dark stranger and asked him about this Saxel,
Sir, who is...
but he was gone.
I think he served his purpose.
I think Saxel was right, because I never saw the dark stranger again. Saxel was interesting. Let's say Daddy. He taught me how to hunt in the swamp and how to gather non-poisonous plants to eat. He was really good at it, although I never saw him eat or drink anything. I thought he was strange. Most importantly, he taught me music. Saxel had taken my lost horn and helped me turn it into an instrument that I named the saxophone. I had asked him what kind of music he played. He said he never named it, but it always made him a bit sad. He said it gave him the blues, and since I'm blue, he thought he would name the genre after me. I felt honored, at least at that time. One day, Saxel and I were having, what do you call it, James and shit. Saxel looked at me.
That's some mighty fine playing, boy.
Thanks, sir. I learned it from you.
He gave me that unsettling smile.
I think it's time to play in front of an audience.
I was shocked.
Really? That's amazing. Where?
Tomorrow night, it's a Norman town called All Town.
I was excited to finally have an audience. Excited, terrified. We arrived at a fairly ritzy inn, and it was packed. I beat everyone behind the curtain of the stage. Saxel was behind me.
You're gonna knock him dead, kid.
I was nervous. I looked to Saxel confusion.
Wait, I have nothing prepared. What am I gonna do?
Don't worry, boy. Whatever you do, they'll eat it up. I know I will.
I didn't know why at the time, but Saxel had made me grow nervous. I made my way on stage. Everyone quieted down. The crowd stared at me in silence, so I decided to fight through my fear and start playing my saxophone. I thought about my life. I thought about my mama. I thought about my daddy. I thought about losing my horn. I thought about living in the swamp. I put all those memories in my saxophone. The crowd watched it all. It was amazing until something started coming out of the mouths. At first, I thought it was smoke, but it had no smell. However, it had faces. The smoke made its way into Saxel's mouth. I stared at him in confusion and horror.
What are you doing?
My horror grew as Saxel began to change. Large bat-like wings ripped through its skin. His green scales became red, and he grew in height. His face flattened out with large tusk-like teeth protruding from his mouth. He was no longer Lizard Man. He was a demon.
Saxel, what is this?
There's a feeding time, boy.
I looked out into the crowd. All that were left were dry husks that used to be people. I looked back at Saxel in rage.
What did you have me do?
He turned his bright, red, glowing eyes to me, with a sickening sneer on his face.
I'll have you pay your debt, boy.
My debt?
That's right, boy. You think that helping you survive building your instrument, teaching your music was free? Oh, no. There's a price for everything, boy.
I shook with horror at what Saxel was, what I had done.
Is my debt paid?
Oh, my boy. You ain't even close.
I didn't know how to escape my fate.
It was a fascinating tale, although I was a bit bothered that he didn't tell me what happened to the demon. As we traveled through Brogue, I figured he'd tell me.